Good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery. We get together most weekday mornings at this time, 8 o'clock Central, talk about strategies, tips, techniques, share success stories, support each of you. Today is Monday, October 14th, 2024. I have a question for you before we get started, and I'd like you to respond in the question and answer box. It's kind of like a chat box of Zoom. Simple question. I'm going to ask this to each of you. Please respond. Who controls how much money you make this week? So AJ, if you could type into the Q&A, who is it that controls that? Alethea, Bernard, Claude, Jeanette, Jeff, Terrence, Tim, Mr. Barker, Willie. We have 310 on this morning. Happy Columbus Day, by the way. But I'm just curious, from your mindset, who controls how much money you make this week? And I could say today, but let's look at it as a week at a time because there's obviously some daily variations. Well, we'll come back and discuss that. Today, we're going to talk about a decision that I think we all need to make. And if you're going to be a successful business professional, you have to, and I have to for myself, we all have to make decisions on how each of us are going to run our businesses, how we're going to manage our priorities, and the results therefrom. And so we all come from different backgrounds, and that's fine. You know, we have a great opportunity to work together to help other people and earn a great, as we call it, adult income. But it starts with our mindset, doesn't it? And we're going to talk some more about some specifics, but it starts with our mindset, and we really have to be accountable because the system is in place. The solution that we provide through shelf corporations, it's guaranteed, it's 100% probable that we will deliver what we promise to deliver. So it's not like, well, I better wait and see if this shelf corp is what it's promoted to be. It absolutely is. So let's start this week and the balance of the month with that sense of accountability. Moving on. So we have to make that decision. And so many of you do this as a side gig, and that's perfectly fine. You have other interests and other endeavors, and that's fine. But there's just no reason that each of us, each of you, shouldn't be able to help one client a day. If you're a white label partner where you're doing your own deals, that puts you at 5,000 a day. But even if you just want to be an affiliate, as simple as it gets, it's $1,000 a day. And maybe you don't appreciate that as much as I think you should. There's a lot of people in our society that work full-time jobs doing much more laborious work that don't make as much money as you and I do. So $1,000 a day for a side gig is a decent side income, and I think we all should be striving for that. I see some of the names on our morning Zooms, and it's a pleasure to see this group grow. But some of you, I feel sometimes maybe you're more professional Zoom watchers than you are salespeople because you're not helping any clients. It doesn't seem. It doesn't seem that you're making any money. I'm glad to see your name, but what I'm encouraging you is to not attend the Zoom, but instead, let's make a decision. You know, are you going to be a successful business professional? And if so, we need a profitable business because if we're not profitable, it's not sustainable. You could save your time, effort, and energy and do nothing and make no money. That makes no sense. So our focus here, we need to go out and create demand. We need to stimulate demand for shelf corporations. I'm like a lot of you. I get up in the morning early before our morning Zoom. I come into the office and I like to watch Bloomberg. And this morning on Bloomberg, the CEO of Stellantis, which you might know as Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, was on. And I was listening to his interview, and it gave me this inspiration for this approach. he was talking about electric vehicles, EVs, of course, which isn't what you and I do, but he was talking about that he was counting on the governments of the European nations to help stimulate demand for EVs. Well, that's not what you and I do, but certainly what we do is we need to be stimulating demand for shelf corporations. And if you don't know how to do that, you need to let us know. But it starts remarkably simple. Every one of you should have a landing page that looks just like this. Now, if you want a personalized landing page, we can do that where we put your logo and we put your car instead of mine or your images. But everyone should at least have an affiliate landing page that looks like this. And frankly, it is enough of an introduction because I think sometimes some of you aren't very experienced in business development. So it's like, well, I don't know what to say. I need a script. Well, as an affiliate, you say as little as possible to move the prospect through the sales funnel. And if you're an affiliate, all you need to do is to drive people to your landing page and encourage them, if not to help them, fill this out. So what you would probably need to say is no more than the title here and the description here, and then encourage them to fill this out so one of our funding advisors can reach out to them. Don't make it too difficult. Don't talk yourself out of making money today. The bottom line is with the Shelf Corporation, we have everything that a small business owner needs to have a fundable business. It's all included. It's all included. And if you're not familiar with what that value proposition is, then we need to get you up to speed. We've covered that in separate trainings. And frankly, you can go through this landing page here and you'll get the trainings and you'll get the promptings just like your prospect would to make sure that you understand what it means. But there's lots of small business owners that want to need money. But as we've said so many times, it's not about how badly someone wants or needs money. It's do they have a fundable business? Most of these people don't. Most of them don't even know what it takes to have a fundable business. So if you're a white label partner, you're actually evaluating their fundability. You're calculating their fundability score. Every small business has a score between 0 and 6. If you're an affiliate, you don't need to worry about that. Just drive them into your landing page, and we have other professionals that will work with them to calculate their fundability score and help them. But the Shelf Corporation is what most small business owners need because it's essentially a business in a box. It's easy. It's easy to understand, and it's easy to sell, and it's easy for you to make money from. So we need to fix problems. That's what entrepreneurs do. And maybe you realize this. Some of you, I think, maybe a little less successful in your past ventures, which is okay. But what do entrepreneurs do? We fix problems. We fix other people's problems. We provide solutions to their problems. We have a business wrapped around that, and we monetize it. And that's okay. That's how commerce works. That's how business works. And maybe you don't fully understand it, which is probably my fault, not yours, that you have the ability to earn at least $1,000 a day starting today. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to buy in. You get a free landing page. And once we fix their problem, which the first problem they often have is they don't have a fundable business, then we can go to funding. And this is a key issue that we've talked about, right? There's really 2 separate phases in the process. If you don't assimilate this, you probably won't be successful in this role. Phase 1 is creating a fundable business, and we can help them accomplish that by building or buying one. Building means going through the 4-week funding program. Buying means getting a Shelf Corporation. Once we have that, then we can access business funding. And that should be exciting to you. You should get, I would think, I do, you should get up in the morning and be excited that we can go help people solve their problems. And we should be getting up excited every morning knowing that you should make at least $1,000 today. And I know so many of you are successful, but Claude, let me just ask, Claude, do you have a plan today to make at least $1,000? Corinthian, may I ask you just a frank discussion, a frank question? You can post a response in the Q&A. Do you have a plan to make at least $1,000 today? That's not an outlandish number. That's not a crazy number, but that's literally what each of you make each time you refer someone into your free landing page. We help them solve their problem. And I just think so many of you are so intellectual, you're so smart that you overcomplicate things. It doesn't need to be that difficult. And if you're not making 1,000, and I know it's not all about money, but man, it takes money to live. We've got the holidays coming up. So regardless of what your religious orientation is, most likely there's going to be extra expenditures around Thanksgiving and probably around the holiday season. Maybe you want to be able to take some time off and kind of breathe the last 2 weeks of December before January hits. Life takes money. And so I'm not here to suggest that money should dictate all that you do. But if you're not generating money, you're not running a successful business. And I want to maybe help bring to your attention that you have the tools, the resources with no out-of-pocket costs, not trying to sell you a landing page. You get one for free. Let's go fix people's problems and monetize it. So it's not rocket science. We need to refer people to your landing page. You get paid $1,000 and repeat. So this is the affiliate proposition right here. Granted, it's more complicated to be a white label partner because now you're actually getting the clients under contract. But for those of you that have the acumen, the competency, then be a white label partner. That's great. You do more and you make a lot more. But I'm not here to try to persuade you that you need to be a white label partner or you're not going to be successful. It's the inverse of that. I suspect that of our distribution partners, 90% should just be affiliates. Simple, easy. Landing page, refer people in so we can go help solve their problem, make $1,000, and then repeat the process. Is there anyone that's on the Zoom this morning that doesn't understand from the affiliate perspective these 3 steps? Anything that I need to elaborate on for any of you on the live training this morning about these 3 very simple steps? Because it comes back to you have to make a decision, not me. We can have these Zooms every morning, but at some point you have to make a decision. Do you want to run a successful business? Now, you may have other successful businesses. That's not for me to measure or judge. But as far as us working together, if you're not referring people into your landing page and you're not making money, that's not successful. So let's talk about what some of our successful distribution partners do. So let's look at some best practices. Number 1, they plan for success. So I think it's good to get up every morning and have a mindset. I'm going to help one client today. I'm going to make $1,000 today. A daily goal is easy to track because you get up in the morning, you know you haven't met it yet. And then by the end of your work day, it's pretty easy to recognize, did I do that or not? Did I have at least one person sign up for a shelf corporation? But the truth is, there's going to be some variations from one day to the next. You might have 0 today and 2 tomorrow. And of course, you might not have any time to work on the business today. So theoretically, I would look at it a week at a time and set a goal. I mean, successful businesses have goals. I want to help at least 3 clients this week, or at least 2 clients this week, or at least 1 client. I wouldn't go below 1. Because if you're not helping at least 1 client a week, you're probably not in the right role. You probably should do something else, because if there's not enough activity, there's just that minimal critical mass. So if your goal isn't at least for 1 a week, frankly, I think you're in the wrong role. But is anyone opposed to setting a goal? And the goal is with yourself, right? You're not accountable to us or others. You're accountable to yourself. Would everybody be willing this week to set a goal, to set a plan to help at least 1 client this week? Is that reasonable? Secondly, we need to take action. And I know we live in this society where we want money for nothing. Wasn't that a Dire Straits song back in the 1980s? I want money for nothing. But I mean, that rarely happens. And certainly some income streams are more passive than active. And I don't think any of us on the Zoom this morning want to go grab a shovel and dig ditches all day to make $1,000. So, work can vary in what it means as far as of labor. But if you want to be successful, I don't think there's hardly any small business owners that are successful that go into it saying, I'm not willing to take massive action, especially in the beginning, right? You've got to get your legs underneath you. It's new, it's different. And the first time of anything is the hardest, your first dance, your first kiss, your first client you get under contract. I know the first one's difficult, but that's really what makes us, you and I, different than others. Entrepreneurs are willing to do things that are uncomfortable to generate positive results. And we need to get that first one done. That first one done, if you've not at least accomplished one. As an affiliate, it's not too difficult, right? All you're doing is getting someone over to your landing page. As a white label partner, there are more moving parts because now you're getting the client under contract and collecting the money, I realize. And this is where we started the call earlier, and most of you acknowledged it. Who is accountable for your success or failure for this week? It's you, right? Now, certainly we need to do our job, but you need to create awareness. You need to create, what did we say earlier? We need to stimulate demand, because shelf corporations are great. They're exactly what they're presented to be. We'll do 100% of what's promised. There's literally no risk at all of us failing any client with a shelf corporation. We will do exactly what we say that we'll deliver. So we've got to get away from that excuse. So if the shelf corporation is what it is, which it is, then we need to make sure that you're able to look at yourself in the mirror and hold yourself responsible for your success or failure. There's only so much time in the day, and we get back to the topic of passive income versus not. So it absolutely makes sense to leverage others. There's very few businesses where it makes sense that you just go out and you do everything yourself. There's a few examples of that, but that's not the norm. Normally in a business, you want to leverage other people in a good way, not negatively, not taking advantage of them to accomplish your goals. And so we talked, I guess we first introduced this several weeks ago, and we said if you don't have enough lead flow, one idea is to reach out to loan brokers, merchant cash advance brokers, different professionals that are in the business lending space. Introduce yourself and ask them to have them send you their turn downs, their denials. And then that way we can help those denied applicants of theirs become fundable and then get them back over to them for funding. Several of you have done this, and I'm hearing tremendous success stories. And Greg's not on. I thought I saw him earlier. He might have bounced off. But several of you have received hundreds or even thousands of leads from MCA brokers, loan brokers, from bankers, from their declines. Some will say, oh, sounds great, but I can't give you my list. It's confidential. Then that's fine. Then what we can do is we can set up a landing page that they have. So we can be very creative with you to help facilitate being able to leverage other people's relationships so you're successful. So when you have opportunities to generate lead flow from others, let us know what we can do to help you, and we certainly will. If it means creating one more landing page whereby it's a second landing page for you, let's take Jeff, who's on the line. So let's say Jeff has his landing page, but he approaches a big loan broker, and the loan broker won't give Jeff his leads list. but wants to collaborate with Jeff. Well, great. We'll create another landing page. It'll be Jeff's second landing page. We'll put the logo of the loan broker up top. We'll take my car off and put whatever image the loan broker wants. And so then the loan broker drives their turn downs into their landing page, which is branded to them, and Jeff gets paid. So we can be very creative in helping generate lead flow from referral partners for you. We definitely need to be aware of the tools. And so as an affiliate, again, everyone should have a landing page. And the purpose of a landing page is twofold. It's that initial call to action. You're not trying to get someone to buy something. You're trying to get them more information about how a shelf corporation could help them have a fundable business so they could solve their problem. And so with that, the leads come to your landing page. Now, we've talked about best practice. Don't just send your link out. Everyone will have a link to their landing page. So is the goal to get your link and send it out to 1 million people? Well, you could, but that's usually not going to generate the success that you would want. Instead, what you would want is to be on the phone with the prospect while they're filling this out. You might say, well, why is that necessary? That's going to take my time. Well, I mean, you're looking at what, $1,000 a pop. So to put in a little bit of time makes sense. But if you just send this out, they may not know you, they may not trust you, they may not do it. But if you're on the phone with them, so I mean, we can role play this. Let's take Bill, one of our top producers. So let's say Bill's a prospect, and Bill's referred to me by a loan broker. And I'd give Bill a call and I say, hey, Bill, my name's Thomas. I'm with a 501c3 nonprofit. I was referred to you by Mr. Jones. He mentioned that you were looking for funding to start or grow a business, but you weren't qualified when you applied with him. Are you still looking for funding? Yeah, great. Well, one of the things that is available now is a shelf corporation. I don't know if you're really familiar with those, but they're a fast and easy way to qualify for business funding and SBA loans. If you have 2 minutes, Bill, what I can do is I can help you see if you qualify for a 100,000 plus SBA loan, funding as little as 10 days. There's only $1,000 out of pocket to become fundable. And all of our shelf corporations are guaranteed a minimum of 100,000 in funding. So I would just need just a couple minutes to put your information in. Bill, would that be okay? Okay, what's your first name, Bill? Is it William? You want to go by Bill? Last name, Biggs, phone number, email, check. And then, okay, Bill, if you'll check your text, you're going to get a text now to say yes, just type yes. That allows us to share more information with you. So into role play. And that wasn't real well rehearsed, but the bottom line is if you stay on the phone with them and walk them through that, they're very likely to complete this. If you just blast it out, a small number will. Now, this is going to generate a text to them, just as I explained, where they have to respond yes, or they won't receive any additional communication. So that's the second benefit of the landing page, is it has automation behind it. It has a drip campaign. So that way we can continue to educate the prospect and move them forward. So successful distribution partners use their landing page. They use the 2-minute video. Now they'll get any prospect will get the 2-minute video that describes shelf corporations. And we've had a training on it together. If you're not familiar with what that looks like, then you can go to our landing page and I'll just give you what that is. It's cheapshelfcorp.com or .org. And I can type it in here if you want. So it goes to that same place, Cheap Shelf Corp, same page, right? But you could go to the page, put in your information, and then you'll get the campaign, which includes the 2-minute video, which is a nice, quick, easy way to explain the value proposition. And then lastly, successful distribution partners are shooting for that 1,000 a day. Again, there'll be good days and there'll be bad days. There'll be some days you have 3 clients enrolling, some days you have 0. But the bottom line is we should I think, aspire for 1,000 a day, 30,000 a month. So let me expand this out, and let's get into the questions or concerns you have. What is it that you're missing that we can help you with be successful? Because your success is our success, and our collective success is success for clients. If you understand what the Shelf Corporation is and what it does, it's an instantly fundable business. That is the prerequisite to getting business funding. We talked about that right here. So let's elaborate a bit. We've called it phases. So there's phase one, phase two. Phase one is have a fundable business. And there's only three options. Either they already have it, which is rare but possible, or buy or build. So those are the three scenarios. Now, if they already have it, that's great. They don't need our help. They don't need a Shelf Corporation. They don't need the 4-week funding program. They already have it. But that's very rare. The way that we would determine that is by taking them through the fundability analysis, which our white label partners do. Our affiliates aren't burdened with that. They could buy a Shelf Corporation, or we could help them build a fundable business, which is called the 4-week funding program, and you're paid for that. So we have to have a fundable business, and then we can get business funding. This is probably the most important lesson and also the most challenging barrier to overcome. Most small business owners don't think this way, so they think erroneously. They're just focused, hey, I need business funding. Well, do you have a fundable business? Oh, no, I just need business funding. Well, we're not going to be able to get business funding if we don't have a fundable business. Well, if they don't even know what a fundable business is, how would they give you an accurate answer? So that's why our white label partners will take the time, 5, 10, 15 minutes, and calculate their fundability score. If you want to know how to calculate their fundability score, we've covered that. It's on 509pacific.org. Scroll down to the menu bar, go to the SBA checklist. Here are the questions. But remember, when you're going through the questions, when we trained you on this, you want to use this glossary here to expand. So if you just ask them these questions here without more conversation points, you won't get good answers. It's using this with these questions that will help you determine. Now, this bottom question is not part of the 6, so the 6 are actually here. So do they have a business plan, not just a business plan, but do they have a lender compliant business plan that properly identifies services offered, ownership, amount of funding requested, use of funds, so forth. So you can see that while these are the questions, you need to expand when you ask it to give them the proper context. You'll find that most small business owners do not have a fundable business. Therefore, there's a problem. But the great news is you and I can help them solve that problem. But we need to have a fundable business before we go to funding. All right, anyone have any questions? If it's too complicated for you, keep it simple. Be an affiliate, get your free landing page, set to go, refer people in, make 1,000. If you are more sophisticated, more competent, want to be more involved, then operate as a white label partner, whereby you're actually getting the client under contract, collecting the money from them, you're closing the deal. Our affiliates don't close deals. Our affiliates feed in, and then we give those leads to our closers, because our closers close around 90 to 91% of the prospects they talk to. So if you're not a good closer, I've had several of you say, oh, I've got all these leads, but, well, if you have all these leads and then you're going to continue with the word but, then you probably should not be closing deals. You need to be an affiliate or act as an affiliate, get your free landing page, drive people in, and let someone that's competent close people so there's not a bunch of buts and you're making a bunch of money, right? So I know everyone has their own opinions and their own thoughts, and a lot of people have very high self-confidence in themselves. But if you have leads and you don't have a lot of sales, then you're probably not very good at closing, and that's not an insult. No one's an expert at everything. Then let the closers close so you can make $1,000 a pop. All right, so again, if you have questions, you can give Madison a call. She's a great first point of contact. She's much more accessible than I am. This is the 509 website. So if we go over here, you'll see that the phone number there matches with that. Or you can email her, Madison at 509pacific.org, and then Cheap Shelf Corp is what I typed in up here because I forgot it was down here to get to our landing page. But you'll have your own landing page with your own link. And no, it doesn't cost anything. It's free. Anything anyone needs. Just talking about comp. So affiliates make a flat $1,000 for referring in. White label partners make $5,000. Now, white label partners get to determine their own price on the shelf corporations, Jeff. So you could make $50,000 per shelf corporation if you wanted. That's up to you. But affiliates make $1,000 on the front end, and then white label partners make normally $5,000, but it's up to you because you control the price. And that's crucial, man. If you all don't even know how you get paid, it's probably a reflection of my failure, not yours. But call Madison. I mean, you need to know how you get paid. And if you don't have a landing page, then get with Madison. Say, damn it, I need my landing page. Right? Hold us accountable, but also you probably need to make a decision. And I'll close on this. Make a decision. Are you going to be successful, financially successful? Because if you're not successful, it's not going to be sustainable. You need to have a profitable business and treat your affiliate or your white label partnership as a business. There's absolutely no reason that you shouldn't be making $1,000 a day. You're smart enough. You've got the tools. You've got the resources. There's no risk to you. There's no risk to the client. We will deliver a shelf corporation exactly as promised 100% of the time. So with that being said, let's go take massive action. Let us know what you need from us. Madison's ready, sitting there at the phone waiting for you to call. Talk to you soon. See you tomorrow morning.